Well, good morning. This is a spirit flip of Song 143, the Psalms, the great book of Psalms. This is a Psalm of David, and he starts in 1. Hear my prayer, O Lord, give ear to my supplications. In thy faithfulness answer me, and in thy righteousness. This is an outright prayer. This short story starts out with David from a place that'll become evident in the next verse. It's not his happy place, but it starts that all deliverance begins with a prayer. And true in life, true in his life, and true in your life as well, true in all of our lives. Verse 2, and enter not into judgment with thy servant. He's saying, now don't judge me so harshly, Lord. For in thy sight shall no man living be justified. In other words, he's saying, Lord, nobody can hold up to the standards that you've set. And of course, we all know that this is a reason and purpose for Jesus Christ and that cross, because all of us are falling short on that. And the heart knows that something is not right here in this carnal state of mind where we all find ourselves. The heart and the soul is like a little embryo at this state, and it knows that something here is amiss. Verse 3, for the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness as those that have been long dead. Well, I guess the first thing we should think about here is, who is this enemy? In our carnal state of mind, as we read these scriptures, we think about an outside, independent personality. But the truth is, we are that enemy. It's our carnal state. It's our carnal state of being. It's our carnal way of looking at things. This is the first man, our carnal state. This is what Cain and Abel was a picture of and representation of in the Bible. It's always the first that is born always loses the blessing to the newer second born or afterborn. And in our state, when we get right down to it, our first thing born is the carnal state of being, and our second thing born, or maybe last thing born, is our spiritual state of being. So even though we have a soul when we're born, the soul is starved to death and blind, because it doesn't have anything to it until we read the scriptures and gain understanding, until we look to God. It's basically a starving little child. But the carnal, it grows much faster because it was first born. It's been on this earth. It's been on this earth much longer. Let's see, I think we just read 3, so let's get on to 4. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. Here he's in this dead place, in this cave, in this pit, that he's not a happy camper, this guy. He's though he could have tons of toys, tons of bass boats, RVs, nice houses, swimming pools, he's still not happy. His heart within him is desolate. In other words, his inner part, the longing that looks for spirit, he's not happy. He's desolate. He's crying out to God. Verse 5, remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works. I muse on the work of thy hands. He's pondering about everything. Here he's realizing that something is amiss in this world. Something's not adding up. Something makes no sense. He's pondering. He's amusing. He's trying to figure out what he's doing here. And what the carnal has given him for answers is not lasting and is not making sense for him. He's looking for better. And here he's fixing to reach out in verse 6. I stretch forth my hands unto thee. Notice hands with 2 S's. I mean with an S. This means both hands. He's reaching out like we do when we're in church and we raise our hands up to the Lord God. We're reaching out to a spiritual thing, denying the carnal, reaching to the spirit. And this is a breakthrough here. This is when he starts reaching to God. Then he says, my soul thirsteth after thee as a thirsty land. Selah. Selah means think about what he just said. His soul is coming alive here. It's coming of age. He's reaching out to God, and this is where all spiritual growth begins and ends, right here. Us reaching out to God, getting to that breaking point when we realize that the carnal is going to leave us flat, that the carnal is a trick of Satan, that the carnal cannot feel that thirst at which we all feel for the soul and need for spiritual need for God. Verse 7, hear me speedily, O Lord. My spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like unto them that goeth down into the pit. Remember, that pit is a carnal place. He's saying, speedily, Lord. O Lord, my spirit faileth. He's saying that he knows his spirit is small. Spirits are born just like the carnal is born. And when your spirit is born, basically what you have is this great reaching and longingness for God. But it's an embryo. It's a little baby. And as all babies, they need the direction and the protection of their parent. And in this case, our parent is our Holy Father. And he's reaching out. He's saying, Lord, don't hide your face from me. He's saying, Lord, give me that protection. Without that protection, I'm going back down into the pit. And this is carnality. This is earthly states of being. This is all the things that had this poor guy miserable in the first place. In verse 8, cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning. Morning is always a sign of something new, just as the morning itself is new. Everything, even your outlook, has a nice fresh look in the morning. For in thee doeth I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk. For I lift up my soul unto thee. Now what's he lifting up here? His soul. He's no longer lifting up his carnal. He's no longer putting his stock in the carnal state of being. But now he's lifting up his soul to God. And he's saying, fill her up, God. I need something of value. I need something something tangible. I'm looking for something spiritual. Verse 9, deliver me, O Lord, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Here he's asking for the protection and strength for God to give him enough spiritually to be stronger than his work buddies, his buddies at the bar room, his buddies with dirty jokes, and his buddies with the pornographic materials, or his angry wife that wants to fight, or the angry husband that wants to beat and rape his wife. All these evil, dark things that come on us when we start looking to God. All the things that want to pull us back into that dark den cave of carnality. He's asking God, deliver him from these things, and give him the strength to rise above these types of things that all hold us back down to this carnal, fleshly earth. Verse 10, teach me to do thy will, for thou art my God. Thy spirit is good. Lead me unto the land of uprightness. And of course, this land ultimately is going to be heaven. And here he's asking God, show me the path, lead me. This path is going to be your holy Bible. It's going to be the scriptures. It's going to be the sacrifices that you make early in the morning. When you pick up that Bible and you read, this is the path that God lays down for us. And he's asking God to reveal things that we read in the scriptures that come to us alive in the spirit and not just in the carnal. Of course, we need carnal education to ever get to where we need spiritual education. But here he's asking for the full measure. Verse 11, quicken me, O Lord, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness' sake, bring my soul out of trouble. Again, that trouble is that cave, that dark, forbidden place that we all end up in at one time or another. Verse 12, and of thy mercy cut off mine enemies, and destroy all them that afflict my soul, for I am thy servant. And here he's asking God for help against all the things that try to pull you back down in that pit. Once you become a holy being, which means you seek God and you look for God in the spirit, the world you're going to find out is going to always try to pull you back in. There's always going to be a party, a crawfish ball, or a bar room, or a secretary that's offering sex to you on the job, or the mailman that's looking up a wife's dress when the husband is working. There's always evil things that come against us, and here he's asking God to destroy these things, not to take away their physical lives, of course, but to destroy these thoughts that come in our hearts and our minds. He's asking to destroy these notions that want to lead us away from that holy well of God, which is there every time we crack open the scriptures. And that's it for that song. It's a beautiful song, and if you read it in between the lines and look for the spiritual flip, it's a very interesting, and it's a life of a breath of fresh air, and God is that breath of fresh air that breathes a soul into man, and that's a wonderful thing. I hope you enjoyed the flip of this video of the flip, and come back and see us sometime, and you may find some other of these scriptures may have some interesting looks that may interest you. I love you, and I enjoyed talking to you, and hope you come back to see me. Thank you.